Hey everybody, it's Rob from Flailthroughs. This is Gundam Battle Operation 2, and this is another installment of Buffs We'd Like to See, and we are starting off with one of my favorites, the Zetaplus C1. I've always liked this design. It is just a nice looking suit. Zetaplus C1 comes in at 600. It is a support. It has a beam smart gun, which I believe stuns uncharged and heavy staggers when charged in mobile suit mode. Salty was telling me that apparently it does not heavy stagger in transform mode, and yeah, it doesn't. It just seems to be a stun, that's weird. But yeah, in addition to that, it doesn't have a lot else in terms of weapons. It has Vulcans that take a lot of rounds to stun. It has hip guns which can stun in 3 shots if both sides connect, and overheat in 4. And it does have balancers and melee combo controller, which sounds good, but it also has melee priority 1 because it's a support. So, yeah, it was really devastating when it came out, but that was a long time ago. So, Salty, what have you got?
D1, very fun support when it first came out. I think it almost took the game 8 months for me to actually get this. So, uh, it's it's sadly falling behind. Uh, with it having a beam smart gun, it still doesn't have ADL for whatever reason, and I kind of want to make a change to that where this suit gets a sub weapon in a burst mode that does have a good ADL. And the reason I say that is because beam smart guns are able to track targets up to 3 to 4 degrees depending on where the gun is aimed. So, like, if I'm scoped in at that rocket, any way or within 3 degrees, I should be able to hit that rocket even if it moves within 3 degrees. And just at longer ranges, that would make it, even more devastating. So I would say a 3-round burst mode would be excellent. That way you could bust through maneuver armor or any damage control, something like that. I'm not too sure how much of a heat gauge we should put that at, though. I would say probably a 3-round burst, make it where you could double tap it, and then if you tap it one more time, you get 2 shots and it red lines. So in total, like 9 shots, and I think that'd be fair. I think that would be fair.
I think you're right.
The one skill I feel like the suit should get would be the thrust cooling system. Because your main goal is to heavy stagger with the gun, transform, re-stun with the gun again, and then pepper them as you go fly past them with the hip guns. So if you're doing that and you speed off, by the time you transform again because you're using your thrust, all your stuff is going to be back and be back and cooled, and you can really just engage the enemy that much quicker. And I agree with Rob, up the melee priority, especially when you have 2-hit melee combo, and it's not a long range support by any means. This is more of a mid range,
Yeah.
by far. So Rob's been having some difficult times trying. I think it was a request you're working on.
I just decided to play it just because I like it and couldn't figure out what else to take at 600. And yeah, but it was giving me some trouble.
But yeah, what do you think?
Okay, so I think you're right about all of that. The other things, even though it is generally used as a more fast-moving thing and not a sniper, like I feel like scouting parallel processing device level 2, if you gave it a burst fire weapon, parallel processing device level 2 lets you swap weapons while scoped in. So being able to switch between the charging smart gun and the rapid fire would not be a bad skill to have, even if it's not going to have, the most utility possible. Also, when this was released, it had an interesting toolkit in Wave Rider mode, but it did suffer from the support curse because most transforming supports do not have the same defensive skills that generals and raids do. If you, I mean, if you want to shoot me down, Salty, just hit me with the uncharged smart gun. Yeah, like that. There are damage control and shock dampeners, I believe, are what most transforming suits have. And yeah, it needs those. It does have emergency evasion in Wave Rider mode, which was kind of unusual for supports at the time. But at this point, as many mobility skills as it already has, it definitely needs resist move level 2. Like if there's a higher level with even more damage reduction, or there could be, that might not be out of line. But yeah, it has force injectors. It has the midair dash move. It has basically all of the mobility-based skills you could want, except for some kind of evasion. So it's time to add that. And beyond that, the other possibility that I think of is, since it is designed to stagger into stun into rapid fire beams, and I feel like the heat gauge on both forms of the hip guns need improved too. The other thing I would not mind seeing is it would probably be a good candidate for pursuit ranged without that being too overbearing. Like that just feels like if at long range, the idea is, smart gun into transform smart gun, but at short range, it is, of course, smart gun into hip guns, or, in our proposed buffs here, into a rapid fire smart gun. So, yeah, being able to capitalize on the stagger with pursuit ranged, I think, would be a really good choice. But, yeah, I don't think it would actually be too difficult to get this up to speed, just because, yeah, like I said, when it first came out, it really was scary. Like I got good and wrecked in it by a C1 in a round we were playing one Friday night, and it was really frustrating at the time, but luckily it was one of those things like, okay, I know how to use that now. And it was very, very good to know, and very, it definitely made me better with it. So, that's the kind of loss that in the long term, at least, you can appreciate. But yeah, it has gotten much harder to pull off that kind of power with the C1 in its current state.
Also, it shouldn't take 50 shots for the head Vulcans to stun.
Yeah, yeah, definitely needs improved head Vulcans, like most of everything else has gotten. Like the draw post.
Yeah. Do you have the master grade?
I do not. I have the high grade, but I haven't put it together yet.
I should find the master grade for you. I kind of want it myself.
Yeah, I've always wanted to get it, but last I looked, it was out of print and a little pricey. Maybe that has changed, hopefully. And we are following up this week with the Assault Guntank, which is a support that comes in at 400. It is it's got a bunch of interesting weapons and tricks, but I've never been good with it myself, and it was always kind of, when it came out, I thought, overshadowed by the Hildal for a good bit. But yeah, it is transformable. It has a kind of like cruising mode that will stun people if you tag them with it. No damage, but it does at least stop them in place. And yeah, it has a smoke dispenser. It has a bomb it can drop behind it as it goes. And yeah, pretty good set of and of course a bunch of different missiles, including incendiary missiles in mobile suit mode. So we are joined this week by Moonwolf, who is longtime user of the Assault Guntank, and had a badge with it the same way I had a badge with the Zetaplus C1. So, yeah, what do you think?
So, first of all, thank you for having me, Rob. I love the Flailthroughs channel.
Oh, my pleasure.
But yeah, so So the assault gun tank, if I recall, this is the first transformable mobile suit. Is that correct? Like, I'm almost certain it was right next to the Dolphin, right?
It was definitely, well, it was one of the two things that could actually transform in Gundam Battle Operation 1. So yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So the thing about the assault gun tank that most people are confused by is that it's not your traditional support. It is what I like to call a disruptor. It's you very much have to dive in frontline. You have to frontline with the assault gun tank in order to get the most damage out, the most performance out of it. You really can't sit back with it. So it relies heavily on thrusting, movement, and lots of DPS. And unfortunately, nowadays, it really struggles with that because there's power creep in the game. The devs decided to heavily buff some older units like the original Gundam, and now the original Gundam is insane, and the
Mm-hmm.
assault gun tank it really just can't keep up anymore because it hasn't seen a buff in years. In fact, I don't even think they ever touched it since it released, and I'm just surprised it was able to chug along for so long because I started playing it back in 2023. I even made a video on it, showcasing it. It was really good during those times. Um, just an amazing support. Unlike anything else, it's similar to the Adolpher, but not really. It's all DPS, all frontline. But yeah, like I said, not your traditional support. But unfortunately, yeah, the power creep just got the better of it, and some things I really want to see with the assault gun tank and all gun tanks in general, they do need just a better base of movement speed. Increase the base speed by a lot more. Just make them fast, because even even the other tanks like the R44 or the GF tank, even though they walk, they're still like way faster than the assault gun tank. Um, and we already know the devs they've been playing around with the idea of buffing the gun tanks because we got the situation battle recently, the tank driver situation battle,
Mm-hmm.
which is really fun. I want to see more things with a gun tank. Also, something the assault gun tank really needs is the quick drift skill, which I believe that was introduced with either the Loto or the GF tank, one of those two. But basically, when you're transformed and you hold L2 to drift, that skill will allow you to move faster, spin faster. It'll increase your damage and your defense as well. Great skill. Also, yeah, need a thruster gauge increase as well because the assault gun tank just heavily relies on thrusters. You really can't play it without transforming. I've seen people play without transforming and they just get pummeled because if you sit back with this thing, you're not gonna do good in it. So you have to dive. You got to be that disruptor support player. And also, yeah, give it buffers. I'm not sure what kind of buffers it needs. Maybe leg buffers and back buffers. But what do you think, Salty? We'll pass it to you.
Uh, in GBO one, the missile pod or the rocket launchers, I guess they're named in this game, were way better. They didn't necessarily fire very fast, but they had 56 missiles in them, so you could absolutely pelt an area with these missiles. I would like to see the ammo count returned for these and keep the fire rate, if not reduce the. Let's not shoot
Oh,
him
sorry.
anymore.
Sorry.
He's almost dead.
I'll just get
The
out and repair. Oh yeah, you can't get out, but I'll just crouch here and repair while you guys talk.
I feel like the flamethrower could see a damage increase. It does tick for 10 times for 200 damage, but I don't feel like that's because you only get a small splurt of fire. I guess would be the best way to put it. I don't think that's enough. It does got decent range, as you just seen Rob from down the hill just arc it over the mountain. Um, but I would definitely like to see a little adjustments on the flamethrower. The cannon is, I feel like, is fine. the main gun, the main bop gun, should get a damage increase because even at 550, my can't the darn light. It only does 166 a shot at 550, and that's not good. And the stun rate isn't good either. For the 4-2 or the 2-2 missile launcher on the left hand, I would like to see its stun rate increase too because it still takes 4 missiles to stun. I would down that to 2. I feel like the bombs, like in the animation, the bomb's explosion was massive. The AoE on it should be almost doubled, I would say. What do you think,
I wouldn't mind
and
that.
Rob?
Go ahead, Wolf.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Yeah, but and they are sometimes hard to land. But as I said, this is a diving support. You got a front line, and that's the only way to land the mines. So, it really is based on if you can play well with the team. If you can move with your team with the assault gun tank, that's kind of the key to playing this unit.
It needs a lot of work perk-wise. It has no defensive skills, one transformed. It's got shock dampeners level 1, and that's it.
Yeah.
Which at this point doesn't do nothing because one melee strike, your gun tank slows down. You get shot by his bazooka, your tank slows down. It needs damage control. It needs a few of the others I can't think off the top of my head. But the assault gun tank and at an extension, the Huldolfer both have problems in their transformed state.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Rob?
I don't have a lot to add. I pretty much agree with both you guys about what it needs. The fact that it needs to really get close and get in there is probably why I have not done well with it historically, because I have tried to use it mostly in tank mode, and that just does not work.
And sorry to interrupt, but that's the thing I love about the assault gun tank is that you play it very aggressively. It is unlike any of the other sports. Well, it's similar to Hudolfer, but it just requires a very aggressive play, which is something not a lot of players, when they fight a support, they aren't familiar with. So I used to be able to handle like the raids when you would dive in with the assault gun tank. But now that the generals can compete with the assault gun tank, if not just absolutely destroy you, and it just doesn't have a chance anymore. Which it needs stun resistance. It needs faster movement. It just needs that because that's how you play it. It's just very aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Quick question before we wrap up: do you use default controls, or have you moved like boost and fire to the shoulders like the old timers?
Yeah, I do follow y'all's controls. Yeah. But actually, I run the DualSense Edge, so my touchpad is the paddle actually.
Oh,
So
neat.
yeah, and that gives me a slight advantage actually.
Yeah, not having to take your hand off of one of the sticks to
Yes.
transform has got to be useful for that.
Yes, touchpad. You just tap it. I'm still controlling the sticks with my thumbs, so it's great.
Yeah, because that was what gave us a decent edge in the in GBO1, especially if you moved if you move boost and fire to the shoulder buttons, you could actually maneuver while boosting very easily, which was really hard otherwise. Like, much as I liked playing things like Monster Hunter on the PSP and the like, I'm a firm believer that playing a game well should not give you arthritis. So I just not having to crab claw the controls to keep your camera moving and keep and adjust your boost trajectory really does make a difference. So
Yes.
yeah, that's why I've always run it that way since ages ago when Lord Antonius turned me onto that. But
Yeah, and I recall a video where you told your viewers to run that control scheme. I ran that control scheme when you said to, and I never looked back. So.
I'm glad it helped because
Yeah.
it really has helped me too. So, but yeah, those are our thoughts on those, and in terms of aggression, thinking about it, yeah, that's I could never quite get it down with the assault gun tank, but that's pretty much the thing with the Zetaplus C1 too. That just playing that very aggressively is the way to really do well with that, and a few more skills and abilities to help enhance that would be very nice. But yeah, those are our thoughts. As always, comments welcome, and suggestions for other suits to cover, all those good things, the standard YouTube like and subscribe stuff, all that always welcome and helpful. And that is going to do it for this week's Buffs We'd Like to See. We will be back soon with more. Till next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later.